Good evening. I wish I had all of you gathered here with good news. I wish I could share a high five or some other type of celebratory salutation. At approximately 8:30 p.m. in the Tom Brown housing community while attending a party. We issued an Amber Alert after that, but our investigators, along with the FBI, have worked tirelessly, 24 hours a day, to locate this young child and to bring her back home and to hold those accountable who were involved in her disappearance, in her kidnap, and ultimately her demise. Tomorrow we will be screening warrants for kidnapping and capital murder against Patrick Stallworth and Derek Arisha Brown. Brown still remains in custody. Stallworth was taken into custody after we placed the last pieces of the puzzle that we've been working on for quite some time to make sure that we had all of the evidence that we needed to bring them into custody. As you know, we located the Toyota Sequoia with the beige trim, and we also were able to locate Brown and Stallworth soon thereafter, based upon information and evidence that we had already obtained at the scene. Locating the remains were the last pieces of the puzzle that we needed to bring the capital murder charges and the kidnap charges against the individuals, which we will seek warrants for on tomorrow. I want to thank the public for all of the information, all of the tips, all of the video, and their cooperation with this police department during the time of this investigation. More importantly, I want to thank the FBI, National Exploited and Missing Children's, Jefferson County EMA, Governor Kay Ivey, who offered so much for a warrant, for a reward, Crime Stoppers, generous donors who stepped forward, who just wanted to see this young child come home, volunteers who came out on a Sunday evening, who went through tons of brush, downstreams, in water, and in trash just to find this young child. Birmingham Fire and Rescue, who I can't truly thank enough for all they've done. There were a ton of people who were involved who wanted to see this young child come home. But I hope that this message is not lost. I hope this message is not lost to young mothers, to grandmothers, and to the entire Birmingham community. It only takes a split second. We can no longer assume that everyone is a part of the village that's trying to raise the child. We cannot take those things for granted. We must work incredibly hard to do more to save the children in this community. This young child has touched a nation. This young child has definitely sent a message across the nation that we all must be diligent to protect them all. I'll turn it over to Mayor Randall Woodfin for his remarks.
I think in this moment, in our city, for our city right now, it is very hard. Taking in the news that the police chief has said about what's happened to Kamille, McKinney, affectionately known as Cupcake. But I think it's the hardest for April Thomas, Kamille's mother, Dominique McKinney, Kamille's father, who have received this information, and I know without a doubt are in tears right now. But they're not in tears alone. They're not crying alone. They're not mourning alone. Tonight, our entire city is mourning. Kamille is gone, ripped away from her family. The pain her family is enduring is unimaginable. As Chief has said, and I think I need to make this point, the perpetrator of this crime will be brought to justice and prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. But tonight, right now, and at this moment that we're standing in, I ask one thing of this community: not to take sides, not to finger point, but if there is any finger pointing to do, it's only at the perpetrator who would kidnap an innocent 3-year-old. I ask every member of this community to stand in solidarity beside this broken family. Over the last 9 days, we have been in tune to what's happening here, but more now than ever, this family needs us all. And so tonight, Birmingham, we mourn as one. Please uplift this family. Uplift your own families. Hold your loved ones a little tighter. To the family of Kamille, I speak on behalf of all the citizens and residents of the city, speaking directly to you to let you know that your pain, your grief, your tears, your anger, your sadness, your many questions, your pain is not ignored. Your cries for help have not gone unanswered and will not go unanswered. This is a sad day for Kamille's family. This is a very sad day for our entire community. And I ask that we all, in solidarity, lift Kamille's entire family up in prayer. A 3-year-old has been snuffed out from her family. And as I think about my own nieces, as many of you all think about your own daughters, your own granddaughters, a year from now, she's supposed to be prepping for pre-K. This is tough. It's a tough moment for our city, a tough moment for this family. I want to turn it back over to Chief.
You know, I want to thank the men and women of the Birmingham Police Department for all of their hard work. The detectives on this case have worked relentlessly, 24 hours a day, and we've maintained our command post because it was our goal and our hope to bring this young baby home. I'll open the floor for any questions you might have before we end the press conference.
Chief, you said you have retaken Stalwart into custody, is that correct?
That is correct.
Can you tell us about what time and where he was arrested?
We took him into custody maybe about an hour ago.
Was there ever a motive discussed at all, or did they ever mention anything as to, why this happened? I guess in questioning ever at any point.
I can tell you what we believe at this point. We believe that this was something that they thought about and acted upon, and they saw an opportunity to take a young child, which they did, and our further investigation will reveal whatever actions were taken after that.
Do you know the timeline of when exactly this might have happened?
Timeline of what? Which particular part are you referring to?
How long Kamille may have been in captivity if she was kidnapped and to the point of her being found?
Well, we're not going to go that deep into our investigation. That's something that will come later.
Chief, is there a reason why Kamille was targeted when we saw in the video there were 2 children playing at the time when you released the second set video, when the police department released the video?
Well, you have to watch the video in its entirety. You'll see that one kid is ahead of the other, and we are unable to determine now why one was taken over the other, or if one was went up to the car and just made themselves more of an easy target.
Chief, the man in the video with the limp, that is not Stalwart, or is that Stalwart?
That's a very good question.
Chief, are you looking to arrest more people? I know you said earlier in another press conference you were looking at more persons of interest. Are you still looking at more people who are persons of interest, or more people to arrest?
We feel that our investigation from the start has led us into a pretty affirmative direction. However, we've always maintained to keep all options open. As she mentioned about the persons in the video, it was our goal at that time to identify everyone in the video to see if they can provide more information to us. If one individual, you'll notice the one individual that goes by initially and looks back, we wanted to get more information from him. We are not going to detail every part of our investigation by identifying the folk in the video at this time.
As the mayor alluded to finger pointing and requesting that it not be done, can you now confirm that there was indeed no relationship to the suspects and Camille's family?
Okay. From what we've been able to tell, there's no connection or relationship between the individuals and Camille's family. I know that a number of people have asked and commented about where's the mother and why isn't she out here appealing to the public about the safe return of her child. That was our call, not to put the mother out there. It was our call not to put the family out there, and we had asked everyone to remain back and allow us to do our job. This is not a movie. This is reality. And at that time, we just did not see a benefit of throwing the mother out in front of the camera when we had very strong leads. We knew exactly what we were doing, and we knew the pieces of the puzzle that we were trying to put together.
Chief took the unusual step of taking the microphone a few days ago and speaking really directly to people who might have known this. It was really almost like I'm talking to you moment. Was the current suspect in your mind at that time?
Okay, we have to keep our options open when we're conducting an investigation. Number one, we have principals that we feel are definitely involved, but we don't know if there were additional people involved or if someone else was holding her. So yes, there was an appeal to anyone else who may have been involved.
Where exactly was this dumpster and landfill?
The dumpster was located out not too far from the apartment building where we located them.
Chief, I apologize if you mentioned this earlier. What led your police officers to that dumpster? Was it a tip or was it a routine search that allowed you to come across the...
We have been doing a number of routine searches throughout the city, and this was one of those routine searches that we had been doing. Also, we had been essentially going through about 12 tons of trash collected in and around the area for several days.
So how close to a landfill was it?
You
said the dumpster was near a landfill?
No. The dumpster was taken to the landfill. Okay.
How
All
long
right.
did you
Thank
hold
you
out?
so much. We really appreciate all of your questions, but we're going to end our press conference right now. We thank you guys for coming out. We thank you for your responsible reporting and keeping her name out in the news media and doing everything that you can to try to bring this young child home. You have to recognize this is a very difficult time for her family. It is my prayer that the city of Birmingham will remain in prayer with
Chief, there is
her
no way to
family,
sugarcoat the
and
tragedy
we
that has
will
unfolded over the
what we
past
can
10
to
days. The
honor the
timeline
life of this
exactly,
young
as the
child,
chief has said, remains
how very short it
unclear
was.
or perhaps
And we thank you
just
so much.
not quite ready to be released to the public. And there we conclude this press conference with the amount of information we can tell you tonight, that the body of Kamille Cupcake McKinney was recovered in a dumpster that had been taken to a landfill. The dumpster originated in the community of Center Point, as the police chief said, near the apartment complex where the two suspects were picked up by police. Those two suspects will now be charged with kidnapping and with capital murder.
Both now behind bars. One of them, Derek Brown, who had been picked up much earlier in this investigation, remained jailed. Patrick Stallworth was released on bond earlier this week. He has now been re-arrested. According to Chief Smith, they picked him up about an hour ago in this investigation of this horrible news. Again, these were the original suspects that were picked up in Kamille's kidnapping.
And these are now the two faces of the people police believe, and the chief just said they believe saw an opportunity to take a young child. What happened after that remains unclear up until the point that her remains were found. It is a tragic night for the city of Birmingham. We heard Mayor Woodfin issue a call to the city tonight to not point fingers at anyone except the two people that they believe have done this. Those warrants for capital murder and kidnapping will be issued in the morning, and as Sherry mentioned, they are both now in custody. Patrick Stallworth taken back into custody within the last hour.
Both the mayor and police chief imploring the community to really love on this family. April Thomas, Cupcake's mother, Dominique McKinney, Cupcake's father, just to love on them as they deal with this horrible news. People didn't see them out there. Chief Smith explaining that that was by design from police, that this is not a movie. This is real life. This tragedy that has happened in our community affected people. A 3-year-old child snatched off the street because someone, according to the chief, saw an opportunity.
And now a family heartbroken, a city joins them in that heartbreak. We at CBS 42 join them in that heartbreak as well. We will sadly have more coverage of this tragic event as it's unfolded tonight coming up on the CBS 42 News at 10. I'm Jack Royer.
And I'm Sherry Jackson. For now, you can go to CBS42.com for more from the chief on that news conference.